Welcome back to the Gunners Lounge, or would I call it the Misery Lounge, where we come and discuss the huge disappointment that this team put together in this performance today. Arsenal won, Bournemouth 2. They've taken 2 wins from us, home and away, this season, and now the position, second place, is not even guaranteed. Now, the thing that bothers me the most about this game is the fact that when I saw the starting lineup, I'm like, this is Arteta not wanting to lose his spot in the Premier League, so it should be a good game. We should be able to get all 3 points, only for us to see this type of performance. What would you say stood out to you as the most disappointing element of our game so far today?
I think aside from the regular culprits, the regular suspects that we usually talk about, Odegaard not being on form or not delivering, and despite the assist that he gave today, but aside from Trossard not being ineffective in the center forward position, aside from all of that regular stuff, the additional for me was not really a criticism, but I understand Ben White not being fully fit, how he was skinned, but that was a new one. Saka was a no-show as well for me. That's a new one. Add that to the shambolic defense that we set up. We've been known to be kind of like diligent in terms of our set pieces. Maybe not as much this year, because this year we've not been that good, especially defensively. But add that to the somehow lack of energy or lack of urgency, especially after going one goal up, which has been I think we've lost almost like 21 points from leading positions. That says a lot. Like, we really don't have the energy, we really don't have the balls to kill off a game. And
I thought this was going to be I thought worst case scenario is that this game was going to be our 14th draw of the season. We've dropped too many points in draws.
Bro.
And just the natural reaction of looking for who is to blame. Honestly, I would track back to the beginning of the season. Like, even for management, like the recruitment. So take, for instance, the whole game turned on its head from that point when they started making their substitutions. When Semenyo came in. And I told you via chat that, this guy is going to change this game. Yeah. And it was so disappointing to see that prediction was very accurate. In fact, the second goal
it was like a minute or 2 minutes after. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even the fact that what led to that throwing was so embarrassing. Like,
it was
they
like
just
predictable.
slept off.
It was like
they just went all in for Tavernier and Semenyo ran into space.
Simple.
And that is it.
Simple.
So the thing that bothers me about this game today is the big question. Can we bring it back on Wednesday?
No.
Because as far as the league is done and dusted, like, best case scenario from this league is we still qualify for Champions League. Like, second position is nothing to be even proud of, because honestly, the performances, the quality of the team. Imagine you're making 3 substitutions and you look at the substitutions that this guy is making. What comes to your mind? Do you think he's trying to win the game, or he's trying to actually now rest the players? And you're wondering, is it at this point now that you've considered resting these players?
Exactly. If you wanted to rest them, give them 60 minutes, regardless of the scoreline. They would have more time to impact the game, and the players you are resting will have more minutes to rest. But if we can go back to, we can also when we talk about like poor management, recruitment, and all of that from the beginning of the season, we can also consider like injuries. Because if we did not have the injury issues that we had, even if we were in these situations, the substitute that we would have been able to bring on would have been better. But that is like even sort of like crying over spilled milk. But the thing about it is that what scares me the most is that not winning the Champions League is not even the scariest part of what can happen in the next couple of weeks. We can go to Wednesday, and with what we've seen, not just in this game, but in the first leg of PSG and the game before, is what we've been seeing now. So, how where are we looking up to expect a turn up? Where are we looking up to expect something that is going to be different from what we're seeing? And if what we're seeing now is what happens on Wednesday, bro, we can lose terribly, and we still have tough fixtures. We have
Yeah.
Liverpool and
Newcastle.
Newcastle
Yeah.
before we
And
talk about Southampton. If we lose those two games, that is 6 points. Give anybody behind us 6 points, be it be it third, be it fourth. You give 6 points.
yeah.
We are out of that position. So not even getting to the final of the Champions League is not the worst thing that can happen to us. Based off on what we're seeing, it looks like we are even capitulating at the very end. It can be, you can put it on lack of energy, you can put it on fatigue, you can put it on lack of recruitment in the beginning of the season. It just looks like the team and the coaches are capitulating at the very, very end. And it looks like that's how it's going to end.
See, in as much as a lot of people will still hold on to that crutch of injuries that we've been,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately riddled with,
Yeah.
you have to still tie that to management.
Yeah.
Management in the sense that risk management, you considered, because look at the situation. The first big hit we had in terms of injuries this season was Odegaard.
Yeah.
Now, let's take out all of the other unforeseen situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Odegaard going injured was a focal change for us. What was the replacement for Odegaard made available? Considering that this guy has actually gone 2-3 seasons
The
playing.
limits. Yeah.
Yes. So you can see from that point that the management of these guys in terms of recruitment is questionable.
It adds up.
On as far as this season is concerned, it's just going to be a very painful feeling at the end of the day, because we've come through a lot. Like, we've given, a lot of push,
Mm-hmm.
but it comes to nothing. It comes to nothing. It just feels so painful.
Yeah. It's not about effort. Like, if your effort is actually not getting you, it's not as if you are you are regressing. You're just like stagnant. And I mean, it's not even as if we are stagnant. There's a little bit of regression in how we are playing. I said it earlier of the season. Trust me. Even if we were showing glimpse of improvements in individual situations, say for example, in our journey of this transition with teams like Man City, we have seen like, oh, they came into this game against Man City with something else to prove, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. But are you looking at it on a larger scale? It's
Yeah.
not. It's not just about like proving a point on this one, because now, and this is like almost another loser's mentality that kind of like oozes out from the club sometimes. Yes, if we get knocked out of the semi-final, they can easily spin it in a way like, oh, like it's an improvement from last year.
Yeah. Sure.
But you have to look at it from like, how did you lose? You didn't lose from a thing of quality or from being outclassed. You lost for not putting in your full effort. Nobody's going to question you if you lose in the if you put in your full effort. Everybody knows, like last year we knew that okay, it was clearly quality, but we showed that we are there. So
Yeah.
it's really not an improvement. Even now that our second position is even being questioned, we now even have to we're even fighting for our position in the league. Last season we didn't. We had it like it was either one or two on lock.
Mm.
So now two is not even on lock. So it says a lot about recruitment, about management, about minute management, about the forms of the player, about the coaches themselves being
Now,
able
when you
to
talk
make
about coach,
bolder decisions.
when you talk about coach, I'm going to ask you one major question now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, looking at our manager, Arteta, 5 years, he has done remarkable stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of fans are reactionary, and it's only natural to be reactionary at some point where you call in question his abilities to take us over the line. But I'm going
Yeah.
to ask you this question. Evaluating his performance over these 5 years, would you look at him and say we are on a trajectory to give him another contract or maybe 3 more seasons? Or you will call in question and say, you know what, let's just wait and see what he does over the summer and give him 1 more season. What is your
So
take on
he,
Arteta?
his contract is not up yet.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking as in look at that situation. If
So
you were
so
to
for
extend
me,
his contract or give him 1 more season,
I would not offer him an extension right now. Based off on everything, I would let him. It would be a conditional thing. Like you have to show me something. You have to give me something for me to give you the next thing. So I understand that the situations around him has been kind of like unstable, especially with the departure of Edu.
yeah.
But that's not on him. But by the time that is on lock, that's why I'm looking at it like, okay, cool. This season, injuries, management, we can even put the management on the instability of top level management as well. That might have made like recruitment or transfers anyhow. But however, that's not on Ateta. Now with that being sorted, if I'm like the ownership, I'm talking to Arteta and the environment I create around him, the Andrew Bertas, the scouting systems and everything. I'm saying like, yo, like I've given you guys everything right now. You don't have any excuse. You
Yeah.
must deliver. And I think that's the message that has been sent out and that has been echoed even back from Arteta. Like we've gotten to the point now where we have to deliver trophies. No excuse. So again, this season might not have been there yet, but it seems like what they're trying to do is to create an environment where you don't have any excusing anymore. You have to
And and
deliver.
and I think the summer will give us a clear and vivid view of if they have realized the errors. Because
The
on
no, the urgency
honestly,
of signings will
it's
send a
crazy
message.
now. It's crazy.
The urgency of
On, on,
signings will let us know if they are serious or not.
on the one hand, I want to credit Arteta for doing the most with what he has.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, I want to question him for his double-mindedness and his double standards in terms of recruitment and squad management. Right? Now, it's 2 seasons before now we signed Declan Rice. That was like, yes, the biggest signing, very big impact. But that moved the needle a bit ahead. But if you look at the grand scheme of things of how we now carried on into the next season with the quality of recruitment to follow up on that,
It
that
dropped.
calls into question his ability
Mm.
to actually follow up on the trajectory that everybody can see. Because whether you like it or not, that season we had before this season
Last season.
showed that there's not so much we need to add, but just a little bit
Mm-hmm.
will take us over the line. And he
Mm-hmm.
has failed to do that. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at that now and say, can we really trust this guy to do so? Because look at the signings now. Look at the signings. I'm going to call into question a signing like Calafiori. In as much as we say, oh, Calafiori is a great player, right? But evaluate how much he was, but evaluate how much we needed up front in attack, in the midfield in terms of attacking creativity.
Bruh.
And see now that the player you did not buy is the one that has benched the players that you have
You
gotten
bought.
in
Yeah.
recruitment for that position.
Yeah.
That should question your ability. See, are you telling me that you couldn't have seen that Miles Lewis Kelly was heading in that direction? What is the quality of communication is happening with the coaching staff to know that, oh, there's no need to go in that direction because we have alternatives that we
So
can
let's
work
put
with
this
here?
money in another department.
Because if you look at the whole team as a whole, defensively, midfield-wise, we're still above average, well above average, especially in the defensive area. But you see that attacking area,
One last
bro.
shots.
Look at all the games we played this season. Those games that we've won 7, we scored 7, we scored 5, we've done all of that. Does that seem like we are actually having the ability to replicate that across games? It looks like all those flick trick moments
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
you cannot really replicate, because if you come into a game with 7 goals, the next game we are not even sure if we can see 3 goals. That is a huge problem. And I'm like, how have you not been able to see this over 3 seasons? To sign quality attackers, you are bringing in a substitute in Sterling. It does my head in. It does my head in, and I'm questioning Arteta at this point, big time.
That's where we know when we mention recruitment and we mention how creating the environment for him not to have any excuse. You know, this particular criticism is fact, is very, very valid. But the excuse around it would be that the top management was unstable. So the lack of urgency, the lack of communication, all these things would, in as much as they're not, for me, it's not like cogent excuse enough, but those things can impact, because I would not believe that Arteta required or requested for Raheem Sterling. It would have been better for us to go short for the 6 months and look for who we will get in January. Because if he does, then everything he has shown me for the past 5 years is a lie. So for me, right, it might seem like, again, we're saying it, but this summer, it's not even about before window opens. That is when window opens that we start tracking players. May I believe that there's another person to blame if we don't if we're not able to answer our questions and learn from this season, especially in terms of management and everything. There's another person to blame right now, that with Andre Berta coming in and Arteta and his coaches. Let's not even talk about the set piece coaches. You guys are, for me, now scam. You are not all that. Because defensively, we've been porous. How many goals did we score from set piece this season? It's not that fantastic.
About 13 goals, yeah.
It's not that fantastic, because it's not as if we were like the top, like how we were last season. You understand what I'm talking about? So now teams know how to play us. So what next? You have to reinvent something else. You can't keep doing the same thing. You see how in the beginning of the season, based off on what we showed last season, in the beginning of the season, when I was setting up for corners, some teams will want to mark you and follow our players to the far post.
Yeah.
Then they'll create space. Then they thought that, okay, that was not working. But immediately, teams just found out that, okay, you don't have to mark them, just mark your zones. Or when it comes to free kicks, they just know how to keep a line. Just be organized. Don't be distracted. Keep a line. They will be caught offside.
That word free kick is even triggering me right now. She just mentioned that word free kick.
So all these things, so there are so many things. Let's even leave the 11 players on the pitch. How are they setting these players up to play? How is it going to improve? Are there even signs of improvement?
Nah. It's just sad though, because we've come to a point in that season where everything just looks like it's crumbling and it's crashing down on us. Like, we got to a point in this season where we felt like, okay, despite the injuries, we're still trying to push and
It
challenge
will
for
be
the title.
scary if we
Nah.
lose PSG, lose Liverpool, lose Newcastle.
No, but what are the likelihoods that we'll get anything out of those 2 games? First and foremost, we are going next to Liverpool, Anfield. We're going to give them a guard of honor. That's not embarrassing enough. We might be going into that game
To be embarrassed.
coming out of a game that we've lost So I don't want to be too negative about that, right? But what I'm seeing from the team, as it were, is not so encouraging. Uh, Now we're going into Wednesday hoping that when Partey comes back, it's going to be a whole different ball game entirely. I saw him in the lineup today, and I'm like, okay, let's see what we're. The only thing I saw good about Partey coming back is that it unleashed Declan Rice.
Yeah.
But Partey felt like he missed 5 games, or he has been injured for another 6 weeks because he
Yeah.
was a little bit out of touch.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it like, what's going on here? What's really going on here? Then we see. I'm just lost for words. I don't want to talk about what we are scared of, in the sense that we are coming out of this season without anything, and other teams like Tottenham, like
Yeah.
Manchester United.
I beg.
No. It's crazy to think, right? That in the worst moments,
Spurs has a chance at the European League, at the European Cup.
bro, we were there now. We were there. Were we not in Europa League? We got into that situation. But you look at it that we were not even this bad, but we were able to. Were able to make. They were able to make it this far.
Our team then was better than their team now.
Yes.
And we didn't still make it that
I
far.
don't want to think too much of that, because it's not within our own control. What's within our control today, we did not handle it, which is carrying that attitude. Like, I'm looking at Saka today and I'm like, what's going on?
I hope. I was thinking. I said I hope this guy is not trying to like overwork himself. Like he's just trying to like keep fit, just move around. And that's what I was hoping, because when it looked like he wanted to try, like when it looked like, okay, I want to get involved, like, and the team wants to get him involved. But it didn't just look like they even wanted to like operate from the right. It just looked like it was more of Martinelli's side, and the little time that they came on the right, nothing worked out of it again. So I just feel, to me,
Honestly,
there's a it's hard. Even if we had won today's game, it would have been hard for us to remove the impact of Wednesday in the back of the boys' mind and the fans. So Wednesday being at the back of our mind will let us know if reacting to this loss is like, we would react to this loss more or less based off on Wednesday's results. Because we are talking about like, oh, we didn't go full steam. Now like I say, okay, maybe they were saving legs, maybe they were doing, which to me is even disappointing. It's even like,
yes, now.
it's disappointing. But again, like, to be honest, Beaumont deserved it. They played a very good game. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Like their manager is very respectful. And this new set of Spanish managers are very like interesting. I like
No,
how
but
they play.
but that's still part of why I'll look at someone like Arteta and question him, because you look at the resources that these other managers have
Mm,
access to, right? Someone like Ariola.
mm.
This is the best Bournemouth squad I've seen. And we've
Yeah,
had some Bournemouth
yeah.
squads
But
actually very
also,
good.
this is not. How many years of management does Ariola have?
No, not much, right?
Yeah,
But what I'm saying basically is, for what he has and what he's doing, we have to commend him,
absolutely.
right?
Imagine, because you want to think about it like, if he now has the resources of Arsenal and 5 years in the job, are you saying that he
Yes,
can do more?
bro. 5 years in any job in the world, bro. You're not a newbie. You are not a newbie. You have to be mentoring others, right? And honestly, right now, I just feel the sum total of it all is, we are only going to watch out for this summer to evaluate if it's truly worth it to keep
Mm-hmm.
holding on to Arteta.
Mm-hmm. If this summer comes and goes like that, and we don't start next season firing,
Mhm.
like with signs that, okay, these people mean business. Like, I'm talking about like, summer comes and go, like, we recruit, and this guy, if we don't miss, bro, let's sack,
No,
like,
but
let's
when I was
mutually
watching the game
depart
today,
each other.
the way we play and how we move, especially with some of our attacking players
Yeah.
in the final third, feels like Arsenal in the summer when we know that, guy, take your shots. You have a chance.
Even the
Be
stadium is
incisive
shouting
about this
shoot.
stuff.
Odegaard was like, I was like, just shoot it. You don't need that second touch. Just shoot it.
Trossard was pissing me off for the most part. I'm like, what are we doing with this guy playing centrally?
Nah.
Why is Ethan not on this field right now? At least preserve Bukayo, take him off the pitch, give Ethan more minutes, and let's see something happen.
I don't know. I don't know
Nah,
what.
man. It's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. See,
My
this
screen frozen.
Champions League, this whole Champions League thing that we're talking about, you and I know if we look at it carefully,
Yeah.
we are in these semi-finals and we know we've gotten to the max. This, if you look at the other three teams, bro,
No better than it.
we are the least of the four teams in this stage of the
Absolutely.
tournament.
Absolutely.
So whatever we are going to get out of this tournament, you will call it luck, you will call it grace, you will call it whatever, but not merit. Because look at the scores, brother. Look at the game. Did you watch Barcelona versus Inter Milan?
That was a game. That
Bro!
was a game. I was picturing Arsenal playing against any of the two. I'm a German 4-0,
Who
5-0.
will collect?
We
Woto,
go call
woto.
as the scores will be like 5-1.
See, the situation we are currently in right now, I would say maybe the best we'll take out of this season is the fact that we actually beat Madrid home anyway. No, because that was just I don't know if I mentioned it to you. I said, see, this is as good as a trophy for Arsenal fans right now because this is a level that we've got into that we haven't got into in a very long time.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's something to ride off on. All that is left for me right now, as far as hope is concerned, is getting into the summer and seeing what the team does, seeing what the club does to bolster its squad. That is what I'm looking at right now. Because if you look back on what we've done in terms of recruitment
It has been
in the
shambolic
attacking
now.
positions, is abysmal. Is abysmal. Like when you see players like Lamine Yamal play, you're like, I know he's a different class of talent, and I'm like, how? How? Like,
That's even a different level for me because we're talking of recruitment. You cannot beat Baka when it comes to recruitment or youth
talent, yeah.
development or talent development.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can beat them. So these guys can probably set up a starting 11 of their academy players
And take on any team.
and take on
Yeah.
and like it will be a good game. So that one that's just how it is.
Well,
But as I said, how the summer is set up and how we start next season, because next season is clearly a season of trophies. Like that, you will know that if we're not playing like that, if we're not moving in that type of like vibe, like everybody that plays Arsenal knows that, oh, these guys, they want to play and win something. If that's not the message, then everybody they should just scatter the thing and start again.
bro, exactly what I was gonna say.
They should
Because
just scatter it and start again.
this is more like it's going to be more like a last. I won't call it a last dance because
It is. It
no,
is.
I won't say a last dance. I won't say a last chance in the sense that last dance, at least you've been dancing, you've been doing
Abi?
stuff. So this is the last of. We've not danced. We've just been going around the main topic, which is winning a trophy. This is the season. That's this coming season. It's a
Yeah.
season where we look and say, come, if this guy doesn't get us over the line,
You should bye bye.
players like Saliba, players like
They will leave
Gabriel,
now.
they can leave and they have every right to.
Yeah.
5 years in this project, bro.
Yeah. Cool. It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Nah, man.
It's not that hard.
You were ruthless with our goalkeeper. Ruthless, I'll say, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, it was
But
proven right.
why I
You need to
say
be ruthless as well with Odegaard.
that's why I said he's a double standard man. Like Arteta, you are claiming to be, ruthless,
And you
trying
don't
to
have
win
favorites.
substitution of keeper, but you're not ruthless with your
Yeah.
attacking midfielder. So I'm not questioning, like, do you really have an idea of what you want from your attacking setup because over the course of these 5 years, Arteta has not given us a formidable attack.
Not yet.
No, he has not. Saka, Martinelli, those are not.
Aubameyang, all the guys that played well under him were not his players.
I'm telling you, Kai Havertz is even an afterthought. They improvised with Kai Havertz because it was not bought for that position. So
True
you
that.
will say, who has he signed
True.
that we will say has come close to the class of strikers in the category of people like Aubameyang, in the category of people like even Giroud? Nobody, bro. So this summer is his first and last chance to get it right with our attacking threats.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, people like Martinelli, those are guys that should be scrambling for games for FA Cup. I'm telling you,
They should be coming
bro.
from bench.
I'm not looking at it that see Desiree Doe of PSG. Where was he?
See
Who was
Bakola.
he? Bakola? Where are they picking these boys up from that we are not going to? Now we are looking for who will bring in for 150 million, for 100 million, for
I
what?
don't even want them to buy that in Akiri Williams guy. Because, bro, this season, Martinelli get 4 goals. Right now, Martinelli has 4 goals more than him.
Let me tell you, that Williams talk, I don't know why people are still talking about. Like, go and watch his games now. What are you people talking about? He's not going to be a step up from
At
Martinelli at
all.
all.
At all.
I don't even think about that.
It's just going to bring noise.
I want recruitment that people will be surprised, like, okay, who is this person? And we shock them.
For me, right, not in terms of like money, yeah, but in terms of impact, we cannot go less than Declan Rice type of impact. Like that impact signing where you know that okay, this guy is coming, and this guy, like we know, like this guy is going to up the level. Obviously, those are
Bro,
the kind of levels I'm talking about. Like 2 signings like that.
the only signing, like, let me keep Declan Rice signing here, right? Because he is an impact player, but it's high cost. The
Yeah.
only player I will look at on this Arteta spell that, okay, they recruited and I'm like, this is quality that we didn't see coming, and he's proving to be solid, is Jurgen Timber. Like, Timber is miles above what we paid for.
Yeah.
As far as how we correlate
No, like
expense
30
to the
something.
quality. You understand? So I'm like, why can't they do that in attacking positions? That's all I'm saying right now. Like, is it that the whole system of coaching and recruitment and scouting, they are out of their depth in terms of how to recruit quality attacking players that are not washed players like Sterling, like Jesus. I'm
Used
sorry,
players
Jesus
of
is a
other.
good player, but
Yeah.
come on, look at the impact he has made to our team
Yeah.
over this period of time. You
But
cannot write anything home about what he has done so far. Saka is just what I would say a graceful player in the sense that we did not sign him, the system brought him up, and he's delivering.
yeah.
Martinelli, stroke of
Same thing.
genius from Edo and his team,
Yeah.
and given the opportunity by Unai,
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Why are we not doing more of this in the attacking positions? Can you remember who we signed to actually debutize for Saka?
Marquinhos or Kinikon.
Marquinhos! Where is Marquinhos today? He could not even start in Norwich. No,
Marquinhos.
it's shocking. It's shocking. And I'm listening to fans talking about top 5 managers in Arsenal's history. In fact, even on AFTV, the watch along, they were arguing some stuff, or not arguing, but talking about, oh, if we win the Champions League, would it be out of place to, erect a statue for
No.
Arteta? I'm like,
This is
what?
why. This is
What
why.
are you
This
talking
is
about?
why we haven't even spoken about the ability to win the second leg, to turn the tire around. We're thinking of what will we do to this manager if he wins the Champions League.
I'm telling you. As in, I'm like, it was only one reasonable voice there in the person of Turkish that said, come, wait, you guys are actually very interesting right now to be talking about statue for a coach that has not actually qualified to get into the finals.
Into the
Let's take
final.
it a game at a time.
Because even if he gets to the final, he's not the first. He's not the first Arsenal manager to get to the final.
Yeah.
Win it first. When you win it, then you can
Then we
talk
will
about
say
it
it's genius.
that are the first Kinikon semi-final. We've been in the semi-final before. So please, I don't know, but I think it's just the story of the season so far. The same thing that we keep saying, and I just hope that this summer we just set us up right to, bro. I'm talking about, to be honest, one trophy is not even enough for me next summer. I mean next season.
Yeah.
Ah,
It is high time.
you
It is high time
owe
we
us.
start. No, so we've entered a period where we should be like, even if we win a trophy, right? We've come to a level where we should be talking about a double,
Yeah.
a treble. Like,
So
we're not
just
getting to
because
really
of
to even dream of that right now. We're not even there with one. After that lucky FA Cup that he won in his first season.
that was not his team.
So it's a huge questioning factor for Arteta that he needs to prove to us, the fan base, that he actually is the man to go the distance. Because half a decade is a long time. Before you know it, this guy is
Bro,
growing old with us, and we are
he's
one.
already growing old now. He will now be mentioned among the top 5 longest serving Arsenal
Longest
players.
serving.
I'll be
I'm like,
Arsenal managers.
nah, man. Because in as much as we want to say, oh, Man U has been in a meltdown for seasons, but bro, do you know the kind of results they've had in terms of trophies? Like, they still have some trophies that we cannot come close to.
Yeah,
Mourinho brought them something that we still don't have.
absolutely.
Solskjaer did what he could do,
It
brought
might
them
be
something we still don't. So I'm
it
like,
might be
what is
short
going
it
on?
might be short planned or short team though, but you where they do projects. Waiting your project don't deliver.
Bro, that's the argument, and that's what's going to make us a laughing stock at the end of the day.
At the end of
If
the
truly,
day,
truly, these
yeah,
guys get into the finals and win something.
yeah.
Bro, it's quite a lot of ranting for one day. I'm not going to let this ruin my weekend. This is the start of a beautiful weekend. And I'm going to implore everyone listening to us at this point in time to find something, exciting to do. To
Because
alleviate
Arsenal down in this weekend.
Bro, the dulling is too bad now. It's too, like, do you know what it means to look forward to a game where you're like, you know what, let's just use this game, get in some
To warm
momentum,
up.
run into the game full of confidence on Wednesday and deliver a result. But right now, someone messaged me before I got on this call with you that he's not sure if he's going to watch that game on Wednesday. We just want to hear results. So that it will not be like he has wasted his time and emotions for pain. So I'm like, bro,
Remontada.
that's a fair shout, bro. Well, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's all
I've
good.
been
I
out.
don't want to go to player rating because I would say altogether as a team, as a coaching staff,
All
everybody
of them.
below
5,
average.
6, 4.
Way below average. Way below average.
4, 4, 5, 4 and 5. It's only Declan that Declan is just a wonderful guy. He's just a wonderful player. He's the only
And he
player
needs
that,
better around him. He needs
yeah,
better
you will see
around him.
that he's trying. Yeah, they're talking
See the
about
free kick.
running
See the free
around.
kick.
Yeah, running around up and down and being there, entering spaces. It's not a skill. It's like something you must want to do.
Commitment. It's called commitment.
Commitment. So
And he has that. And we need more of that. See, when he was off the pitch and we got that free kick in that very good position,
yeah,
and we saw the guy among those players there that surrounded him,
nothing. I didn't even look at the
who
free kick.
who
I
would you
already
have
knew it
even
was going to
said
be
to
a
try
miss.
to take a free kick?
Definitely not Odegaard.
Let me mention the players there so you have. Odegaard was there, Zinchenko was there, Kiwior was there. Let me just even use those 3 players. If I'm to rate the one I would say should try it, I would say Zinchenko should go first.
Mm-hmm.
If second option, I would say Kiwior. Because, bro,
Definitely
look
not
at all of
Odegaard.
his free kicks. He's always hitting the wall. You can bet on it. You
Even
can
his
bet on it
corner,
too.
even his corners is or I'm
At
Odegaard
a,
doesn't
at a point,
deserve. I,
I
I
don't
don't
want
know.
to.
I don't know what this season is about for him, but he needs to fix up. He
He doesn't
needs
even look right, bro. He doesn't look right. He doesn't
he
move
needs
right.
to.
Like, look at his face coming into this season. Guy, I thought I was the only one that observed it. That why is he looking this famished?
Skinny. Yeah.
Yeah, like he had a very famished look. I'm like, what's going on with this guy though? Then you now see how the team is built around him, and there is no alternative. And you say you want to win major trophies? Nah, man. Nah. It's just, I think the major joy I'll get from this season, aside from the fact that we beat Madrid home and away, which was not even the best of Madrid sides,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Luis Kelly, Ethan, Timber. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we've seen Timber now for a full, like almost a full season, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
say yes, yes, he's another good signing. I'll say yes, it's good to
Another
take into
good
the
thing,
future.
another good thing about this season is that it exposed our shortcomings even to the blind person. You'll be
Yeah.
able to know that this is what we are lacking. And again, I have so much expectation for Andrew Bata, just not just because he's coming in to fill a role that is needed, but he has experience, you
Yeah.
know, with teams that are trying to cross the line after, building them up from wherever they are.
And we desperately need that in
Yeah.
a top level on a top level because
Yeah.
I think Edu, and you mentioned it in one of our conversations that Edu, Arteta, these guys have never done anything worth,
Absolutely.
worth writing,
Mm-hmm.
Hall of Fames.
Mm-hmm.
So we've lacked that quality experience,
Yeah.
voice of maturity
Yeah.
that will actually help someone like, because Arteta still needs that type of
And
voice
it
around him.
shows in the squad,
Yeah.
in the players. So by the time you are talking about like, oh, an experienced sporting director, he brings in an experienced player for you to cross over a line. That experienced player is going to influence the locker room with
Mm-hmm.
with talks, with charges. That experienced player is going to show commitment on the pitch with last ditch tackles or those extra runs into the space or
Yeah.
those jumps and stuff like that. So that's how it reflects all the way from from top management. But well,
It's all good.
up until Wednesday, right?
Yeah, all we can do is hope for the best,
Up until
and
Wednesday,
we'll keep supporting as we've always been supporting.
we
Thanks for
know
everyone that's been watching our content here.
yeah,
Thank you for liking, thank you for watching, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. We'll just call it a day here on the Rant Lounge.